Good evening. Welcome to On Another Level Book Club, Authors Babble. Tonight we are getting up close and personal with author Jolie Lynette. She's the author of Dirty Business and Toxic Relations. Welcome, Miss Lynette, and thank you for joining us on this evening.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
So tell us a little bit about yourself, my fellow Dallasite.
Well, I am an author of two books. My first book is Toxic Relations. My second book is Dirty Business. And so I started writing actually a long time ago when I was younger. I was really good in English, really good in math, and both of those two things were like the things that I really liked. But I went on to do the math side and kind of left the English,
Okay.
aside. But I did write poems and did write, great research papers and thesis papers and stuff over the years. And so I have continued to write. But in about 2009, I had an epiphany and I had a dream of
Mhm.
toxic relations. And so when I had this dream, it started as one dream and became a recurring dream. And so I would wake up and I would get up and just go to the computer and write. And that's how toxic relations came to be.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, so this was something that was sort of divine.
Yeah, it seemed like it was birthed.
Okay. So when it comes to toxic relations, um, is it something birthed out of personal experience or just from as what is it? Is a song back in the day? OPP, other people's experiences or problems.
It was actually something that I had not experienced before. So it was, I would call it somewhat of a divine intervention, as it's
Mhm.
straight from God.
Okay. So your new book is, um, sorry, I'm looking.
Dirty business.
Dirty Business. Now, first of all, the title in itself, you know how to draw people in Dirty Business. Tell us a little bit about the book, A Dirty Business.
Okay. Well, dirty business is what I call a workplace eye opener drama
Mm-hmm.
about this unassuming woman. She's very low key, she's very self assured, and her name is Avery Dixon. She gets laid off of her job in about 6 months into her job search. After losing her job, she is unable to find any job prospects in
Mm-hmm.
her field. And so after a while, she talks to her best friend, and her friend is like, well, how about you change careers and go sell cars? And Avery is like,
Really?
girl,
Okay.
bye. Why would I do that?
Right.
But after a while and time kept going on, Avery's like, wait a minute, my bank account is getting kind of low. So I'm gonna need to do something. So, she is in a specialized field, so it's hard for her to go and get a McDonald's job. So she decides to, take on this new endeavor. And so
Mm-hmm.
she leaves one male dominated field and goes to an even bigger male dominated field. But in this new field, she encounters something more than she bargained for, honey. And it's sexism, misogyny, and the tokenism.
Okay.
So, being the only black woman, I think some of us can relate to that, can't you?
How many? What? Okay. Yes. And you know what? Statistics says it shows that men are paid more than their average counterparts of the opposite sex, even if you're doing the exact same thing.
Yes.
So let's talk about this book. Have you ever experienced the unequal treatment on a job that you've had when it comes to male and female relationships?
Oh, yes. I've had to fight for the income.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time specifically where a male counterpart making more money than me. And when I found out, I went to my boss and said, excuse me, I heard that he's making more money than me and I'm going to make what he makes.
Mm-hmm. See, that's the question. How did you find out what he was making, first of all?
Well, I did some. I talked to the recruiter that I had.
Okay.
And we didn't have the same recruiter, but I still was able to find out what he was making. So he was able to find out in his own way how much he was making, how much they were offering the candidates and the candidates before.
Okay. Got you. So you say your first book, Toxic Relation, was birthed out of a dream. Okay. How did this book come to fruition?
So this book was different, actually. My husband, Jay Gibson, fellow author as well, has done sales over the course of his career as well. And so he would come home and talk about these crazy stories from the car dealership. And I'm like, this is crazy.
I would have never known.
Yes, it is a very dog eat dog nature of a business. And that's why I call it dirty business.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering what it would be like to be a woman in this same field and how would she be treated, which is extremely different than a man.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine some of the stories.
It's a lot of good stories. And I want to add real quick that because Avery goes from this, kind of domicile type career before into this dog eat dog nature of a business, it basically kind of her once passive, calm demeanor makes her go into this like angry Black woman.
Right.
Has to be aggressive because everyone around her is making her feel like she doesn't belong there because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to gird up and be tough.
Yeah, and that is so difficult in the work industry. Of course, you see a lot of inequalities, but you think twice before saying anything because you don't want to be labeled as the angry Black woman. But then you want to take a stance and get what's duly yours. So that is interesting. So what type of reviews have you received on the book?
So the reviews have been very good because people can relate. Men and women can relate to this because it's such a story that is something that everybody deals with. I don't know one person that has not experienced a layoff unless you're a stay-at-home mom and you've never had a corporate job or any job for that matter. So it happens to everybody. And this particular scene is very, very different. And it kind of sends you into a world that you're like, I wonder how this works.
Right.
Because we all go to the car dealership too, right?
Right. And the salesmen are so nice and sweet. And I'm like, dirty business?
It is dog eat dog. You'd be surprised. So it kind of gives you a window into what this life is really like for salesmen. They are nice to you so you can acquiesce to their requests.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And when you think about a car dealership, it's like the opposite is given off. You have glass windows all around. You would think, well, they want you to think they're open and transparent, but I'm seeing it's the total opposite.
Well, when you read the book, you'll understand what all that means. So I do take the time to really let you understand what the industry is about.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about the story. It's also about the environment that you see anytime you go in to buy a car, but you'll understand why it's set up the way it's set up.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Look at me. I'm getting deep now. Because then once you make that decision, they take you back to this little cube when they start talking about money and the whole thing. Okay, but we're going to stop. Get the book. We want to get the book right here. I want you to just share with our viewing audience. How can you be contacted and where they can purchase your book?
Sure. You can go to my website, jolielynette.com. You can get the ebook. It's an ebook form only. And so just go get it. It is a great spring read. It's a great summer read. If you're going to be traveling anytime soon, it's going to be a great book. If you're sitting at the doctor's office waiting on them to get you your shot, you better get this book.
Love the ebooks because you can have it on any device and take it with you wherever you go and just pull it out. Waiting in line at the grocery store, bam, get you a couple of chapters. So let's
Yeah.
talk about the writing process. How long did it take you to write the book?
So it took me about 3 to 4 months to write the book. It is an ebook novella, so it is not a full novel.
Mm-hmm.
It is about almost 30,000 words.
Okay. So tell us about the difference between a novella and an actual novel. Was Toxic Relation a novel or novella?
A novel.
Okay, so what's the different? What was the different process in actually writing a novella compared to a novel?
So they're very similar. The only really difference is the word count. So a novel is categorized as 50 to 60,000 words plus. A
Mm-hmm.
novella can be very short. It can be between about 20 to 40, sometimes even 15,000 words, just based on your word count in the story.
Okay, okay. So as a writer, you've written two books. Tell us what was the most difficult part of this artistic process of actually going through from beginning to end. What was the most difficult part?
I think the most difficult part is just getting people to know who you are.
The marketing. Okay.
Yeah, the marketing part, the writing process. If every writer is different, but the writing process can be very liberating for me.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you say you've always had a desire or a love for writing. What would you tell your younger self today if you could go back and tell your younger self about anything in the that you've experienced as during writing these books? What would you tell your younger self?
I would tell myself, you should have published that book a long time ago, honey. You
Well,
might
that's
it's too late.
yes, and I think that's a common answer. Just step out on faith and do it. You know.
Yes,
Okay, so what about the publishing process? Are you self-published or are you with a publishing company?
I am self-published,
Cool.
and it has been a great process being self-published. Yes, you have all the things that you have to do to keep it all together, but it's an amazing process, the self-publishing process.
Okay. So do you do any journaling or writing? Is that something a passion of yours?
I actually do journal, not a whole lot, not every day, but I do write down, especially when I'm just in a place where I need to get my thoughts out.
Okay. So have you ever experienced writer's blockage? And if so, how do you push or break through that?
Um, yes, because sometimes it depends on whether you're in the mood to write. Some people are mood writers.
Mm,
Some people are they just do it. So you can experience writer's block, but everyone is different. And I actually did a segment on my Facebook about reader's block.
mm.
Yes.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about reader's block.
Okay. Well, reader's block is when you basically feel like you can't read, like because of whatever that is going on in your life. Sometimes you can stop reading, even if you're a part of a book club, you can still stop reading, even though you're obligated maybe to read a book. And there's different things that happen to readers
Mm-hmm.
because of family issues, because of job related issues, because of lack of exercise sometimes. Sometimes the things that we eat, sometimes sweets can cause us not to read. And so I did a segment about that and how you can overcome reader's block.
Wow.
Yes.
That's something new. I had not heard of reader's block, but guess I will be using that. I don't have to read that book. I got reader's block. Now that I know it's official, I will be using it at work. I have reader's block, sorry. Okay, so we talked about the publishing process. When it comes to editing, did you do your own editing or did you actually go out and hire someone to edit your book?
No, I always do professional. I mean, it doesn't matter how great you are as a writer. There is a thing called, well, I don't know exactly what it's called, but you get so attached to the book that sometimes the ideas that you have on paper are still in your head.
Okay.
Forget to put it on the paper because when
Mhm.
you read it, you're reading what you know that's in your head, and then also you're reading what's on the page. So you think when you read it that everything is all there. So when the second person, third person, or fourth person reads your book, then at that juncture, they can say, "Hey, I see that you were going here and you're missing this and that."
Gotcha. Gotcha. So, how do you, when you're starting your novel or novella, what process do you use when you're planning out um, the outcome of a book? Do you um, have like a outline, or do you just go with the flow and you go with whatever direction you're led to go in? What's your process?
Well, for this particular novella, I did do an outline, and I just know what's going to happen and I do it beforehand. So when I sit down to write, I know, okay, this chapter is about this, and this is what I'm going to write about. Sometimes you don't have to write it right in order. Sometimes some chapters are speaking to you at that point. You say, oh, I need to write that one because
Right.
it's
Okay.
on my mind right now. So it
Mhm.
just depends on if you, and some people, they just write on impulse. And
Mm.
great way. It's just whatever that is best for you. But for me, it's an outline.
Okay. Okay. So, what about your reviews? What type of feedback have you gotten from the public and also family and friends? What type of feedback have you received from family and friends?
So with Dirty Business just came out just a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Toxic Relations basically has done quite well on Amazon. They're outside and family and friends as well. Other book clubs also have read my books and have put reviews. That's also on my social media as well. I have family and friends that have put in social media where they've put reviews of my books as well. And so at reviews are great for authors, so as much
Mhm.
as you can get, it's great.
So, as an author, what advice could you give to anyone that who may be watching us that have the desire to write but just have a little fear to start the process? What advice could you give any future writers that may be viewing us on this evening?
My advice is do it afraid.
Do it afraid.
Do it afraid. And the reason why I say that is because just because I am in this process at this moment in time in my life, I'm still afraid. I'm scared. Some of the time when I experience certain things with the writing process, it's not always peachy keen.
Right.
You work a job, you know that you're gonna get that paycheck in the last 2 weeks. When it comes to writing, it's all about the craft. It's all about getting that story out and that's something that someone is going to be inspired by.
Mm-hmm.
That takes time. It takes resources. It takes prayer.
Right.
Better go on the rest of these and do some praying because you got to do it afraid, and you got to have that stability to
You
where
know what?
what I'm just afraid I'm just gonna do it.
You said a word there. You said do it afraid. I'm going to start using. I was just talking to a friend about, presenting, just the fear of just standing in front of people, presenting, and you just have to step out on faith and just do it. But do it afraid is going to be my new tagline.
Yes,
I
it is,
love it.
because we all are afraid of something,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that you can't push through that because feelings are temporary.
So true. That's true. And we spend so much time waiting on, oh, I'll do it when I'm more comfortable with it. Oh, I do it. And that's when the years and years pass by when you could have just
Yes,
stepped out on faith. Bam.
exactly.
I love it. Do it afraid. So from both books, I'm gonna ask you from I want you to provide information from both books, from Toxic Relations and Dirty Business. What would you like the readers, what overall lesson would you like readers to take from each book?
Okay. So toxic relations, I would say two things. The first thing, never fall in love with the temp at your job. For God's sake, stop it. Okay, let's just be real. The temp ain't your friend. No.
Right. And at the job, that's where I'm having the problem for. That's where the mess come in at. Okay.
Okay. So number 2.
Uh-huh.
Everything ain't glitter and gold.
So true.
We like glittery things. We just love them.
But it comes with a price.
It does.
It comes with a price. Okay. I like that. I like that. Okay, so at this time, we're going to transition a little bit, okay? We're going to dig a little deeper. I'm going to get to know you a little better. I'm going to ask you a few questions. All I ask that you be open and honest and give us the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Don't think about it. Whatever comes, that's what comes out, okay?
All right.
Of all the material possessions that you have, what do you enjoy the most?
My books.
Okay. Good answer. Next, what would you like to invent to make life better?
Wow. That's a hard question. I think that anything that makes life easier for people, solving a problem, and we do have a lot of problems in life, and inventing something that will just make people's lives easier.
Okay.
That could be a myriad of things.
Okay, I like that. What talent do you wish you had?
Ooh, I wish I can dance for real. Like I can move side to side, and how some people just have rhythm because they have rhythm, but like I can't dance.
Me either. I think I can, but I don't think I can. Okay. If you had to write a book about your life, what would the title be?
Woo! A whirlwind.
Oh, you might want to write an autobiography because that would sell.
All my personal career has been a career where I've been behind the computer for a very long time, but I have always put adventure into my life in some form or fashion. So I got some crazy, when I say crazy stories, woo! I'm talking about some crazy stories. If you let me tell one, I'll tell one if you want.
Oh, go ahead. I love juicy.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a story. Okay, so me and my husband had some friends. We went to a New Year's party. And so it was a couple, mostly couples. There were some singles there, but this couple came from Houston and they came on a bus. So this is when Megabus really became new, right? So you remember Megabus would have you, on the side of the road, okay, when they picked you up, right? They said it was only $9 for them to get from point A to point B. Long story short, okay, we decide, me and my husband say, we're going to do this, and we're going to go from Dallas to Atlanta. Woo! And guess how much it was?
How much?
20 hours, honey.
Okay. How much for the ticket?
$60 for one.
Not bad for Atlanta. Okay.
Not bad, honey. But the only thing that I missed, now I'm very meticulous about our travels and everything. So long story short, we ended up in Memphis, Tennessee, and we had a 3-hour layover.
With no transportation. So what did you guys do?
No transportation. The bus station was open until 11 p.m. And guess what? They kicked us out because the bus station was closed. So we had to go to the gas station across the street to have somewhere. Thank God they were 24 hours. So long story short, when the bus came at midnight, Megabus has some great, how would I say, terms and conditions that you need to read. So long story short, there were people that brought too much stuff on the bus for the bus. And made the people leave the stuff on the side of the road in order to get on the bus. Okay,
who planned this trip? Because they can't plan any more trips. We need details.
Well, I planned the trip because we like to just do adventure things, that sort of thing. So that was the only glitch that we did not figure out, that there was that
Right.
the bus station would be like Greyhound.
Mm-hmm.
Actually had a bus station that you could be at that was not, closing at a certain time and you would be kicked out. So long story short, we finally get on the bus. Everyone is very mad, very irate. They're going on social media saying that Megabus is a hot mess.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and then we finally go from Memphis to Atlanta with no issues.
Okay. So overall, it was a great trip, except for that one hiccup.
Yes. So when we got to the car dealership, we actually walked from the bus station to the car dealership, not the car dealership, excuse me, the rental car place. And the lady said, well, where are you guys coming from? Because you guys are walking with your big suitcases. We said, oh, we just came from the bus station not too far, maybe like 2 miles away. And she said, y'all crazy.
So more people had experienced Megabus. She already knew. Oh, wow. That is too funny. Okay. That is too funny. But no more planning trips for you. No. You just sit back and enjoy. So you say your husband is a writer as well.
Yes.
So have any of your children, I don't know how your kids are, have they picked up on the writing bug?
Oh, we have no children.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Interesting. So both you and so how does that work? Would both of you guys been authors? Have y'all had any conversation about maybe co-authoring a book or doing something together?
Yes, we have. We actually are thinking about writing a book in the near future, probably in the next couple of years.
And do you guys have different writing styles? Is he in the same fiction, or is he different writing styles, or what?
He's nonfiction, I'm fiction, but he's actually going into fiction.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And then I'm going into nonfiction.
Oh, wow. So y'all just flip. Okay. Jack of all trades. Love it. So share with our viewing audience again where they can reach you and also where they can purchase your books.
Okay. Go to my website, jolielynette.com. You can go there to get Toxic Relations and Dirty Business, honey.
Dirty Business. And make sure you support Miss Jolie Lynette, and also leave your reviews. The reviews are so important. So please leave your reviews. These are good books. If you have someone with birthdays coming up, the holidays are coming up, great way. And that's something I did this year with my nieces and nephews. I didn't buy gifts. I bought books. So the gift of reading is ongoing and everlasting.
Yes, it is. Readers are leaders.
Love it. Readers are leaders. And leaders are readers. I love that. Okay. Look, you give me all these little quotes. Okay, so at this time, we're going to bring on our voice of reason, and she's going to entertain questions from our viewing audience.
Okay.
Voice of reason, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions in the queue. Let's go back up. One of our questions is from literally she. She says, do you have a favorite place to go when you write, a favorite room, or a favorite destination?
Yes. So my favorite place to go is the library. I am a library rat.
Really? Okay, so the library it is. All right, so we have another question from Day in Araho. She says, what are some avenues that you use to promote your book?
Well, of course, social media is so big. It definitely cannot be ignored. Technology is changing all the time. And so social media is number one.
Okay, what's number two?
Well, number two would be, yes, your website. Please have a website for your books. That is your online real estate for your brand.
Okay, so first social media, of course, and then your website. Do you, when you do social media? Do you pay for any of the paid advertisement or anything like that, or do you basically do just postings?
No paid advertising, just posts.
Okay. All right. So let's see. We have another question from literally she. She says, when developing your characters, how do you come up with their names?
That's a good question. Names are so easy to come up with because they name themselves. They really do. Naming someone is a very easy process because if you see someone, just let's say somebody at your job, their name usually matches who they are most of the time. So when you think of names, it just sticks. Their personality will show that name that you pick for them.
Okay. I can see that because I know like my colleagues, I have a secondary name for all of them, but basically.
A secondary name.
And it's because they named themselves. You know, it's like something happened or something transpired while we were talking, or maybe they said something that triggered something, and I stuck with that name. When I said it, I was like, oh, okay. And from that point on, I just started calling them that name, and they answered to it because they know that I renamed them, and it just works. You know, it just works. And so I get characters name themselves. I love that. They do. So do your friends.
And that is a great way to really remember that person. And that is actually a memory tactic to really remember someone's name. So, Miss Tony, you are doing great when you name someone so you remember who they are.
Exactly. And I do that in real life because like everybody, it's that I grew up in a household or a family where we didn't have nicknames. But it's like I nickname everybody.
Well, you gotta give me a nickname, girl. I want my nickname. You can tell me later.
I already have. I've already given you one. It's Dirty Business. That's how I remember you because your book stood out to me. So I said, I'm just calling her Dirty Business.
I love it.
Okay. We don't have any more questions in the queue, but the audience, if you have other questions, we're willing to take them. Let's see if anybody's put anything else.
So while we're waiting, are there any other books? I know you say Dirty Business just came out about 3 weeks ago. Do you have anything else in the works that we can expect?
Well, yes, I am going to be writing a nonfiction book. Okay. And it's going to be quite provocative.
Yeah. Nonfiction too?
It's going to be nonfiction this time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I am a person that tells it like it is and don't run and hide my hand.
Okay.
So get ready.
So is it going to be on the lines of erotica or what?
It is going to be nonfiction and actually going to be a self-help book for women.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so no, wait a minute. Hold up. So you said...
Stop. We might have to...
This is not PG.
Okay. So I can see where this is going now. Let's talk about
I put this on YouTube. I said, this is not for kids.
Okay. So let's talk about it. I'm like,
I'm just trying to get into it because I'm looking at you and then you're saying, I tell it like it is. So, and it's a self-help book for women. I just want to know what you're going to be talking about.
But wait a minute. She's sitting over here looking like missionary, but then it's good. Go ahead and talk about it then.
Well, I would say this. Never judge a book by its cover.
This is true.
Because there are so many things that we do as women and men that we don't really want to talk about. Don't really want to say much about.
Who, me?
It's time out for that.
Who, me?
I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for that. There, for a long period of time, for many years, I have muffled my voice, not said anything, and I have been quiet and kept it all to myself. But I ain't doing that no more, honey. I'm gonna tell it like it is. Now it's like you, yes, I have lots to say, and that's going to help women to be like, okay, what have I been doing with my life? Crazy person.
Let's get liberated. Let's get liberated.
Let's do it.
And you know what? I agree with you. I think, but okay, so I agree with you in that there are things that we do that we don't want to discuss. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that because I think everybody has to have some level of privacy, correct? But I do think as women, we should be able to come together and discuss some things in a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think, I do think there should be a no judgment zone. You know what I mean? So, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I shall be reading that.
Well, I don't want to reveal the title yet because the title.
Don't do it. Because I don't want to have to change your name, so don't reveal it yet.
Okay, yeah, don't. When you hear it, you are gonna change my name. I promise you. You're gonna be like, "Girl, no, you didn't." I'm like, "Yes, I did."
Now
I may just keep dirty and leave business out, huh? It still may be dirty.
Dirty business can cover it all. Actually.
It covers it all, exactly. Okay, we're getting carried away. We got more questions. Okay. So Amazon just announced a new format that writers can use to get their work out there. The platform will require readers to purchase coins to read chapters. Would you consider using this platform? It's called Novella.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, actually, no.
Okay, let's tell us why.
Okay. I would say that I believe that every author should keep their power as much as they can. And Amazon, yes, is a vehicle for you to go and get your book out and get reviews. But at the same time, have your own website. That is it's like your residence, right? It is online real estate that belongs to you, and you can do whatever you want to with it. It's going to tell you what to do with those coins. If they want to take those coins, they can. If they want to change the algorithm to those coins, they can. So from a technical standpoint is where I'm coming from, is that Amazon has the control and you have very little control.
Interesting.
Okay.
Because you could actually do that on your own website instead. Okay.
Well, there you go. Exactly what I mean.
Literally, she says self-help, ? Sexual ? What we do when nobody's looking. Okay, are you interested?
I think she just gave another name for a book.
Yes. Okay. And then to the response to her question, she said, I like that, very true. And so we had Miss Har, and I'm messing up her name every single time I say this, and I do apologize. Miss Araho. I think that's how she told me to say,
that's Day.
Yes, Day. Yes, so she was on with us last
week.
Araho. So so definitely she says, I like that, very true. All right, are there any other questions in our audience tonight? We've kind of gotten a little bit not off track, we just went another way. Yes, thank you. Remember, Araho. Thank you. Araho.
That's what I thought about, Araho.
Thank you. All right. Any other questions? If not, I'm going to turn it back over to Sharon and Miss Jolie.
Okay, we want to thank our viewing audience for the questions. Okay, so we're winding it down. Give us something that will draw our readers in to go and purchase these books right now.
Okay, I definitely will do that. So I want to put in your minds that the car business is a dirty business. Okay. And so due to this dog eat dog nature of dirty business, this book, she goes from being very passive to the angry Black woman. I want to ask the forum out there, have you ever had to go angry Black woman on somebody at your job? Nashira, you ain't got to answer if you don't want to. Miss Tony, you ain't got to answer if you don't want to. But I want to hear from the forum. Have you ever had to go angry black woman on somebody at your job?
Say this, the reason I was delayed because I was in the middle of going angry black woman. I have my business and I had to go angry black woman today. And I don't like angry black woman, but sometimes you're not heard until you go angry black woman. And so unfortunately so let me just say that I put on the professional angry black woman today before coming on to this air tonight. And I had to, and I really didn't want to go there, but sometimes you have to go there because sometimes people take the plain black woman, they take them for granted, or the person that just sits and says, okay, I understand, yada, yada, yada. They take it for granted. And then they keep, I don't even know the right word, but it's as if they don't respect you as long as you're in this, I want to say this demure type of voice. Is when I have to escalate my voice, and I don't escalate my voice often. I'm usually on a very even keel voice, and I'm like, I shouldn't have to do this for you to first of all hear me, and
Right.
second, I shouldn't have to do this for you to step back off of me. That's basically what I was saying.
Back off.
Yeah, so yes, I had to go angry black woman today, and I don't like going angry black woman because I didn't go like the angry black woman that like cussing or anything like that. I'm always going to be professional, but I had to escalate my voice to a level that I don't typically do, and I don't like doing that, but I did it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. And I am trying to learn how to be an angry black woman. I internalize a lot. I hate conflict. So I'm not quick-whipped, where some people can just have a quick response. I'm the person 30 minutes later, I should have said this, I should have said that. Or I call my friends and I let it out on them instead of to the person that it should be directed to. Right. So that's something as I get older, and it just goes with not caring what people think. And I'm learning more and more that, if I'm going to be unhappy, you're going to be unhappy with me. We're going to be unhappy together, So that's something I'm learning how to be, is just speak your mind. Just speak your mind.
And I do. And I typically speak my mind. I do a really good job of speaking my mind.
You sure do.
I do a really good job of speaking my mind. And I try to do it in a professional manner. But whenever I have to go to an angry black woman, it's not good for anybody involved, really, because I don't like going there because I typically I try to be very vocal, professionally, and say whatever I need to say and not allow people to say what they want to say. And then I have to just hold mine. I try to always be expressive. I try to always okay, I understand that's how you feel, but however, I'm sorry. I'm quick-witted. So I typically have a response. So if we're in a conversation and I don't say anything in response to what you're saying, it's not because I don't have one, it's because I'm refraining. Yeah. Because I typically have a response. Now, whether I always say it, depending on who I'm speaking with and the nature of the conversation, I may hold that quick-witted response and try to come up with a more professional response. But I typically have one. That's the Scorpio in me, but no, I wish we could take away the phrase the angry black woman, because honestly today when I said what I said, I wasn't angry, but I was not angry, but they probably thought I was. They interpreted it as me being angry. No, I was being very adamant about the statement that I was making, and I was making a point, and I was pointing out your mistake, and that you didn't want to own. So I was not angry, but I was not going to let you put that mistake on someone else. And so, yeah, I digress.
Yeah, and I understand that, because there's a lot of women like Sharon and like you, and Avery is in that same bucket. She's like, look, they just laid me off, and I don't want to come out as an angry Black woman. I better leave before I say something or do something, because y'all just tick me off at this point. And so we as women, we all get angry. It's not just the angry Black women, but you are very right that I had to kind of digress a little bit on whether I wanted to put the angry Black woman in there or not, because there is an internal battle within us. We either domicile or you are labeled as the angry Black woman. But there is a happy medium, and everyone has to find that medium. And so Avery does find that medium, and I want to help other women to find that medium, because maybe Miss Tony, you, like you said, the professional side of it where you can be tactful, and then bring Sharon over here to this side where she can be tactful as well, but she can still get what she needs to say off of her chest.
Right.
Yes, but that's in it. But the thing that bothers me is not even the fact that I love that we're having this conversation. But you know what bothers me about this conversation is that why do we as Black women have to even have a conversation about being angry Black women? No one's calling them angry white women.
But unfortunately, I mean, that's the world we're living in. We're judged based on how.
I get it. No, I'm not saying, I agree with you, Sharon. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, it's sad that we have to even have a conversation about being angry Black women. It's because they go off, and when they cuss, or when one calling them angry white women.
Right.
I mean, like in the last year, they've been called Karen. But I mean, like before Karen, they weren't being called angry white women or whatever. But we have to have a discussion. It's like when I talk to my nieces, I always try to make sure that they know not to be the angry Black girl. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure they're not having the same conversation with their daughters or their nieces to tell them to not to be angry white girls. You know what I'm saying? Or don't come up with this. And it's like, just because you want to be heard, you're angry.
Right.
Oh, I just want to be heard. I deserve a seat. If I'm going to sit at this, you're not going to have me at this table as a token, because I do have a voice.
Yes.
All right. That's a discussion for a whole nother day. Because I can.
Yes, it is.
But I do want to say that, as you stated, it's sad that we have to have this discussion. But I'm sitting here thinking about people of other race just on the job, incidents where they just acted a plum food, and there was no consequence whatsoever. But then I done the exact same thing.
You be terminated.
I'm looking for a job, But I do. One of the things I do try to live by is, you pick your battles. Everything don't have to be said. If you making a statement about something or responding to something, if it's not going to cause change or growth in a person, because my thing is, after you pass a certain age, 30, 35, if I can't change you, and if I know that you're a type of person that's not going to receive anything, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not wasting my voice. I pray for you. I'll try to lead by example, But as far as going back and forth, if it's not going to have a positive effect, I just walk off and let it go. Just let it go.
I have one statement I just want to make, and it goes to just validate our conversation tonight. Outgoing CBS News President Susan Zirinsky sat in a budget meeting and wrote a sign saying, "I hate my job," and put it above her head. If that had been an African-American woman or woman of color who did that, they would have walked her out the door. But instead, they're looking for a replacement for her, but have already solidified another position for her within the company. But this woman literally sat in a budget meeting and wrote a sign and said, "I hate my job." Now you tell me, is anybody had done it other than Oprah Winfrey, they would be without a job.
Now, they would have dragged her out by her short and curls in the back of her wig.
Exactly. She would have had, before she even stood up from that meeting, she would have had, her access would have already been revoked.
And that goes back to that word privilege.
Yes, but I'm saying to myself, like literally, like guys, like I'm sitting here reading this article today, and I'm saying, are you freaking kidding me?
Exactly.
Okay, I'm gonna have some wine. Woo! I'm sorry, y'all.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to leave our audience with? We got people that are turning to the bottle, but is there anything you want to leave our viewing audience with, Miss Jolie?
So I would say, go get the book.
Get the
Go
book.
get the book and see how Avery deals with this new career that she has going on, and how and when and where does her Angry Black Women come out, and if she is able to harness herself and do what she got to do.
Now, is she in a relationship? Is she married or is she single?
She is married.
So how does her change in her work, her attitude in how does her attitude change in work affects her private life? Does it spill over and affects her relationship?
It does spill over because the schedule of a salesperson is rigorous.
Pleasure. And we look forward to talking with you again. And we also look forward for the nonfiction that's coming out. So keep us posted.
All righty, I sure will.
All right, join us this time next week, same place, where we will be chatting it up with author Joy LaCourish, author of the book The Forgotten Timepieces, book 1 of a trilogy. Okay? This is On Another Level Book Club from Dallas, Texas. Stay safe and have a great night. And remember, reading gives us someplace to go when we have to stay where we are. Stay safe and stay blessed.